In modern life, it can be so rush to get from one thing to another, rush to do all the things that we have on our to-do list. And so this is a real opportunity to slow down. I invite you to take a deep breath. And as you breathe, I invite you to know that you are breathing in the exhalations of the trees around us. And with your exhalation, they are breathing you in, you giving them life, and them giving life to you. It's so easy in the modern world, in our rush lives, to have and or feel a disconnection from nature. But again, our nervous systems evolved in communication with the natural world. As we evolved, the sights, the sounds, the smells, the textures of nature were all part of our nervous system. And there is a way in which we've lost that connection. My name is Greg Berman. I am the owner, originator of Reconnection with Nature, my company that takes people out into all different kinds of nature areas. When I was growing up, I remember watching programs on tigers and loving the majesty of these big cats, and it was so exciting to see that. And one of the pain points for me was that it always showed the destruction of these animals, and I think that's important, and I think it's important that we know and recognize the impact that we're having on the natural world. And at the same point, I think if we're only focused on that, if we're not focused on where do we find joy, where do we notice pleasure in our bodies, where do we notice the majesty, the awe of connecting with the natural world, without that, then it just becomes this thing to do, this mandate that we're supposed to save the world. When I joined Sierra Club, it opened up this whole other world to me. Not just the world of nature, but the world of socialization. And I felt a freedom and aliveness of being able to get out in places, whether it was in the forest, on the ocean, doing bike rides, that really brought me alive. And I had my first leadership roles in that experience. I had my first really good friendships in that experience. My first connections where I felt alive. Really, it's about saving ourselves. It's about supporting ourselves. It's about loving ourselves, loving our communities, loving the natural world. And so for me, the reason I do this is I want to support people in their own individual ways to fall in love with the natural world. Nature is such a good, you could say, laboratory for bringing aliveness to ourselves, for bringing happiness to ourselves, for allowing ourselves to see parts of ourselves that we're not always aware of, or sometimes remain hidden. And when I started doing that, I thought, oh, this is what I want. I want to bring people out into nature. The idea behind In Connection with Nature is we all want to be deeper in connection with ourselves, deeper in connection with others, and we can foster that through deeper connection to the more than human world. This trail that we're about to walk on, it's a perfect way of exploring our relationship to the world. One of the things that supports that is right down here, there is a bunch of poison oak. It's not as visible right now. I mean, all these green leaves and the yellowish leaves are the poison oak. But that idea that it's poison oak, in many circles it's also called protector oak. And it says something about our relationship to nature, to the natural world. For some, because it is possible to get rashes from it, people have a disdain for it, and yet it's really supportive to the natural world. Many birds eat the berries of poison oak. A lot of mammals make their homes in poison oak, and it's really a very rich source to the ecosystem, really important to the ecosystem, and without it, the forest would be a very different place. What is our relationship to the natural world? What kind of relationship do we want to cultivate? It doesn't mean that there aren't things we want to be cautious of, but there's a difference between being cautious and having a dislike or feeling like something needs to be obliterated. How do we cultivate our relationship to the natural world, and what is our place in it, and what is everything else's place in it? I invite you to feel whatever part of your body is touching the ground. And to notice that the ground is literally supporting you. That the earth is always beneath you.